Welcome back to the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. It is Monday afternoon action at the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. My name's Al Cameron from Curling Canada. Pleasure to have Christina Langs doing color commentary today for this great game between Saskatchewan and New Brunswick, a pair of teams that won their opening games here yesterday afternoon, and two experienced skips. And Christina, always a pleasure to see teams like these two playing each other on a championship setting here in Canmore.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely a great venue and definitely really exciting to have this much talent in one building. So it'll be exciting to watch.
So it will be Team New Brunswick, Jamie Granton with last rock advantage in the first end. He pinned his last draw. It was going to be close, but he put it on the button, as James Granton tends to do on a fairly regular basis. We'll run down the lineups for both these teams. Team Saskatchewan, skipped by Dean Grindheim. The vice skip is Sherry Just. The second is Cole Tenachuk. And the lead is Allison Ingram. They're from the Rivers Curling Club in North Battleford, Saskatchewan. And Team New Brunswick, James Gratton, a very familiar face. In fact, most of these players should be familiar. They've all got national championship experience at the Tim Hortons Brier or Scotty's Tournament of Hearts. James Gratton is the skip. Jillian Babin is the vice skip. Jamie Brannon is at second, and Jacqueline Crandall is at lead. And they are from the Capital Winter Club in Fredericton. So, Christina, we saw a lot of swing on this ice yesterday. It looks like there's a lot of swing there again today, and that means we'll have lots of rocks in play, which is always fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. Watching them come down in their practice throws was pretty dramatic, girl. So, looking forward to see how that plays out.
James Gratton looking like he'll decide to go all out on offense, and he'll call for the corner guard.
Halfway tight.
I think, Christina, that was one of the things we noticed yesterday is it's a team that manages these conditions and figures out the swing and anticipates the break is going to be the team that has the advantage. But that's a normal thing in curling, as you know.
Yeah, definitely. And we were talking earlier about strategy versus execution, and it definitely comes down to execution when you're trying to read the ice for the first couple of ends. So strategy kind of just follows along with how we deal with the curl and get used to the weight. So.
Just three.
The sweeping tandem of Sherry Just and Tenachuk. Those are the only two players on Team Saskatchewan who have played in a Curling Canada National Championship in the past. The other two, while they have experience, but a national championship's another kettle of fish, and when you put on that provincial jacket, it definitely changes your approach to a game.
Yeah, it certainly adds kind of an air of importance to a game that I'm sure they're well versed in, but it makes you definitely think a little more about everything you're doing and saying.
Maybe a hair down.
Yeah, hair light. Just forward.
Jamie Brannon trying to keep this on line.
Close.
See if they can get by that center guard. And it will tick.
And we're already starting to see the weight play into that swing that we mentioned earlier. She thought she was a hair light out of her hand, and it definitely caught.
We talked about weight control, but the other theme coming out of yesterday is how release sensitive this ice is, and just talk a little bit about that, the importance of release and the effect it'll have on a stone on swingy ice.
Yeah, definitely. You'll see anyone with kind of a soft release, you'll see a huge amount of swing, especially if there's minimal rotation going on down the sheet.
Easy.
Obviously, one of the things that you learn it from the get is the more rotation, the straighter you'll go, and so really sensitive ice, you have to pay a lot of attention to that soft release, and how it's going to affect what you're calling.
Okay, forward.
So a nice guard thrown there by Team Saskatchewan, Cole Tenachuk. And we found yesterday, too, throwing guards was no walk in the park, getting them in the right spot.
Yeah.
Forward, maybe a hair light.
You were correct. It definitely looks
Same
like
as
there's going to be a
Jacqueline's.
lot of rocks in play. So
Same as hers.
it's going to take on almost a chessboard effect, I think.
And that's a game James Gratton is very experienced at. We've seen him do that at numerous
Shot, Jamie.
Tim Hortons Briars in the past. 13 trips to the Briar in his great career out of New Brunswick.
Got it. Okay.
A couple of bronze medals representing New Brunswick as well. 1997 as a skip in Calgary, and then both of his bronze medals, in fact, were in Calgary as a skip in 1997, and then playing with Russ Howard in 2002.
Yep. 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 Yes. Hard. Hard.
So we're playing with that same line that draw came in earlier, with a hack weight that looks like it also didn't stand up well to a lighter weight. Lots of curl there.
And it looked great all the way down the ice, but once it starts going,
It's gone.
it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
So chance to sit 2 here for New Brunswick. Jamie Brannon play this
Weight's close. 5.
clockwise rotation draw
Gotta
behind
go
the
a
corner
little
guard.
bit.
Especially on those inside-out kind of draws. Those aren't passes that
Right,
they would have
Ken?
thrown a lot of in practice either. So they'll be learning those lines as we go along in these first couple ends. 8 end games here at the Canadian Mixed. 30 minutes on the time clock with 2 90-second timeouts. Here's Sherry Just.
Whoa. Whoa. Cole. Yep. Go. Okay.
Will it jam? It will go over top.
1, 2. I just don't know how to get there.
And there you heard the description. Right? Drawing to the button, they threw that a lot in practice, but it's this inside out that they're going to learn on the fly.
I think it's
Julian Babin played in 6 Scotties Tournament of Hearts representing New Brunswick, currently playing with Andre Crawford's team out of Fredericton.
You gotta go. No.
Looking like it'll have the same fate as Cole Tenichuk's attempt that they draw around the corner guard. So it is Saskatchewan sitting 1, that back 12. Sherry Just will be asked to draw around the center guard. So a chance to get the force in play here for Saskatchewan.
Yep, and I think they're hoping with that little bit of wiggle room, they're not going to come in on the guard quite as drastically as the tighter line did. But
5's good.
we'll see if it actually finishes
Just 5.
coming out that far.
Bite the 8.
Sherry, by the way, she knows this area quite well from Saskatchewan, but she's done a lot of running and cycling out here. She ran a marathon in Banff a few years ago in 2018. She also did the Golden Triangle, cycling, biking from Banff to Radium Hot Springs and then to Golden and then back to Banff. And having driven that road a number of times, that's no walk in the park even to drive, much
That's
less
a
cycle.
huge trip. That's a detour people complain about in their car lately.
Exactly. Yep.
And we did just see that draw finishing beautifully around the guard. So
I'd say she cycled her way to a great shot.
I would agree.
I'll withdraw that. So Jillian Babin now. Try and remove it and even get the flop here as possible.
Yes, hard.
goodness, that high guard there is causing a lot of problems for everyone.
Now we go to the 2-3.
Yeah.
Think about there.
Interesting, James Grattan just gathered his team together just outside the hog line, and I think they're going to discuss that line situation because
Like a
they've been
2-3?
caught a couple times on
Same speed as last night.
early breaks on the curl.
14.5.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
So our first look at Dean Grindheim.
They were just having a discussion of weight compared to last night, trying to decide on exactly what they should be considering a good draw weight. So we'll see if the 14.5 plan holds up.
This team just won the Saskatchewan Mixed Championship 2.5 weeks ago in Prince Albert. Played 10 games to win that championship, so they're battle tested coming into Canmore.
Easy, 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 easy.
And that was my mistake. I think they were planning on a guard, so.
And that shot rock is in jail. There is a stagger there. I mean,
definitely get it.
there might be a port, considering how much this thing curls.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Counterclockwise rotation for Jamie. His out turn might get through the hole.
Just, I think it's whatever you want to throw. Yeah.
Yeah, from this angle, it definitely looks like it's an option.
Yeah. That way.
I mean, not an easy option. But high-performance curlers, they see things that normal curlers don't see. And
It
James,
wouldn't be a good show if it was an easy option.
that's right. You better believe it.
Okay, it looks like he's going to try the port. I'm curious about what his weight call is. I missed that conversation.
Yep. Yes.
So nothing too big here.
Hard all the way. Whoa. Whoa. Yes. Hard. Whoa. Jamie.
Through the port. And get it swing a little bit. James will get one buried, but not enough to move that shot rock. Who's going to be second shot, though?
That's good.
It looks like it's still going to be
Top four?
Saskatchewan sitting
Or top
first and
button even?
second, Christina.
It does.
There's another
And now
look
we're
at it.
playing
Probably
with
gotta be
that
close to
big
about-
swing on this outside here. Trying
Out
to
here.
cover that hole so they can't pick it off with their second chance.
And a steal definitely in play here.
Try and get top four, maybe full four if we're.
So he'll try and get one in there.
But why
we
waste
don't
it
wanna
on a
go right
guard?
maybe to the tee, right? Because he's got the double, right? So if we, maybe bite the top of the button type of thing.
Should be good out here.
Yep.
Last shot, first end for Dean Grindheim of the old school lift.
I was just going to mention that. A rarity now, but still equally as
Where'd you
effective
get?
when it's done well, which he definitely does.
Ingram and Tanachek working hard to drag this as far as they can. Top four was the call. Should come up short, so there is a hit available to James Grattan. I don't know if he's... Yeah, he'll just play the hit. I thought he was eyeing up the slash
Yeah.
double there for two, but discretion's the better part of valor.
We are only in the first end.
Yep.
Shoot. Oh well.
It's okay.
Yep.
Last shot on its way, James Grattan. On target, and it will be a single point for New Brunswick, but a good end from Team Saskatchewan to get that force, and they will have hammer in the second end.
As predicted, lots of rocks in play, so it'll be interesting to see if we continue with that pattern moving forward, or if anyone wants to shake things up with a cleaner sheet.
Oh, we've ordered them to keep rocks in play. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, no. If you're on the TV sheet, it's understood. And James Grattan hearing that memo, and he'll call the center guard, Jacqueline Crandall. Three of these four New Brunswick players were in the bubble in Calgary last season at Winsport Arena at Canada Olympic Park. James Grattan and Jamie Brannon were part of the New Brunswick men's team, and Jacqueline Crandall was playing for the New Brunswick women's team, skipped by Melissa Adams.
No strangers to eat, sleep, breathe, curl.
To the nth degree in the bubble, let me tell you.
That finished pretty dramatically.
Did it go? So suddenly it's a corner guard, and more helpful to Saskatchewan and with hammer.
Okay. It's not your fault. It's that rock, I think. I mean, your center guards are never like that.
You may have heard the discussion, Jillian Babin and Jacqueline Crandall wondering if that rock may be moving a little more than they would have expected. Still learning these stones as well. These are the club stones. They were textured by Matt Yo prior to the championship starting.
Oh, yours was a 410
Matt
split.
did mention they were good stones to begin with, but that's typical procedure for a championship. Canada Curling Stone products for all those granite fans out there who track such things, and let me tell you, there's a few of them.
I have to say, it's a little exciting as a member of the club to have some sharp rocks next week, so we'll take it.
James Grattan holding the broom almost on sheet B to give the target to Jacqueline Crandall, as she'll go the wide way around to get, or she'll play another center guard, and this one looks better.
We're definitely already seeing that accommodation the skips are having to make in their line calls for that big swing that's happening.
Allison Ingram, by the way, she and Sherry Just are teammates in women's play. Sherry skipping the team and Allison Ingram playing second for their team. They played quite a few spiels actually already this season. That women's team has been very busy. Five spiels already this year.
Goodness, well they're warmed up.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay, you got it, Jamie.
Very nice throw by Allison Ingram.
T-line! Gotta go for weight!
Jamie Brannon, this is his second trip to the Canadian Mixed Championship. He played in 2008. Just about an hour and a bit away in Calgary that year. Might overcurl a bit.
That's good weight.
Dean Grindheim won't consider this too much. He'll see if he can follow another one down there for Cole Tenachuk. Cole won a silver medal playing for Saskatchewan at the 2015 Canadian juniors in Corner Brook, Newfoundland. He was playing with Jake Hersicorn. Lost that 2015 final to Manitoba's Braden Calvert.
This one coming in with a touch more weight.
Yeah.
Okay.
It almost gets a bit frustrating when there's this many guards in play. You're trying to compete with yourself to throw the same shot better.
It's a hair
the
more
second
weight.
time.
To it. Weight's really nice.
And you're seeing that same
Gotta go
line
a bit.
again.
I know it's dying. It's really dying. Oh, I don't know why. I don't know what happened to that. He threw like way more.
That told the tale. They thought that was a little heavier, and it came up light, so. They did practice on this sheet yesterday, but it was a short practice, so can't really get too much of a rock book established.
Easy for the line. Well then.
But the goal for every one of these teams is to be playing on this sheet come next weekend. This is where the gold medal game will take place. I think that one's going to come up light.
I don't know. It's all of a sudden just.
We're getting dangerously close to that whole game
Rolling
block
seven.
with these teams.
Yep.
So what do you think I should throw here? A little heavier?
They don't seem convinced that this path is going to do what it's going to do, because we've had 2 light and 1 through the rings in the last 3 shots. Jillian Babin now. Just had a player fall down on the sheet next to them. She's all right, though. Erica Hobson from Team Ontario that we saw last night here. This looks like a nice shot, Christina.
It does. She had a pretty positive release on that one, and it definitely paid off.
Got a nice little kiss there, too. Perfect outcome for New Brunswick there. Jillian Babin, great shot. Good line call, too, by James Grattan to see the rub as a possibility.
Absolutely, yeah.
You'll see it just tick off their own. Tick. Freeze. Just like that. They're wearing out this path, Christina.
It's gonna be its own special game. This one line over and over.
Yep. Gotta go. Allison. Yep. Straight.
Good.
And
Good.
might be what they needed.
Yeah. I'd say it's red, but
Yeah, that. I mean, hard to say unless you're standing directly over top of it, but it definitely looks red to me.
it probably won't stay that way by the time we get a measuring stick, as Jillian Babin's going to be asked to play virtually the shot that she played on her first. That was executed so nicely.
If there's a rock left, there's still too many to call the end.
Curl it.
Oh, and this shakes things up a bit with a little roll.
Rolls into the open, though, so I would say that New Brunswick's sitting 1-2, though.
Nice still to hit this. Go here.
It definitely does look like it could be 1-2. I'm curious about
You
where
like board?
they want a shooter roll,
You want
but
10.
where does the blue go?
I think we got to play this way. Board?
The double's almost there, isn't it? If you just get the right angle.
And I wouldn't put it past her.
Sherry Just. Her last shot of this third end.
Yep.
Sweepers are on it.
Gotta go.
Oof, that is going.
Is it a field goal or
I don't know.
Well, she has her blue, but there was a lot of curl on that.
I think it is New Brunswick sitting shot. Although Jillian Babin and James Grattan are certainly
those
taking
are
a long
really
look.
close. Yeah.
This hits this for sure.
Yeah, it
So
is.
that's why
Do you want to just come around?
how?
Yeah.
I thought the same thing.
That's a great question.
Or we could just freeze again.
I think she's getting a bit tired of the freeze game.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
Comes back to here and it's probably shot. And I might pick the 5.
Okay, I don't mind that. We know this spot.
That's the same ice she had, but she has those whirly birds, right?
Okay,
So I think
maybe a hair more.
yeah, I need to hit half with like
What are you gonna throw?
board.
Okay.
So it looks like just half a rock and get the roll, and they
Looks
wouldn't
like
lose
the
their
plan.
blue.
It certainly moves away from the freeze game, which I think was probably a wise choice at this point.
Yeah, they were starting to run out of rings to make the freeze and sit shot too. So
Yeah.
Hard! Hard! Whoa! Yes! Hard! All the way! Hard! Hard, Jamie! Hard! Hard roll!
Oh, the back
Not
blue
bad.
popped out a bit there too.
yeah, the red I think caught them by surprise. I think red is now sitting second, Saskatchewan. So open hit to sit a couple for
Where do
Saskatchewan.
you go with it so you don't? Can you get inside? Should be able to. Yeah.
You got to hold the shooter here because there's
Well,
a double there for 3
Punch
if
it
they
and
don't hold the
get this
shooter.
out of there. But then you sit here, and then if he jams that, he makes the roll, and then we're in trouble.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather try to keep it over here every hand.
Okay. Thinking like something like that with a 10.5.
Yeah.
You like that?
This level of curling, something you certainly don't see at the club level, where you have to assume
Like a
everyone you're
10.5?
playing against is going to make that shot. So you need to plan on what they're going to call and what they're definitely going
roll
to
in
make.
behind cover, center. Yeah.
Dean Grindheim's first shot of
I think
this
if we played a
second
10,
end.
I don't think we're gonna get any
Saskatchewan
roll.
with last rock.
Like we'd have to be so tight to that. We could play it.
Chance to sit
quieter,
2 here.
but-
Tenachuk trying to keep this straight. Not going to get by this guard. I don't think so. And it'll roll over top, and meanwhile the guard does spill into the rings.
Just the tight guard.
Wait was close.
Definitely
Wait, was
opens
close?
things up.
I thought we were for some reason, but
Okay.
Technically, but it's
Yeah.
so what? That would be really good, but
Yeah.
you can't really put it in a good spot. You can't really put it. Like, what if we just do this?
If you could play the double, you play the double.
I just don't know where to put it.
So it's either a tight card or you get second.
Yeah.
It's hard to find a spot.
I know, that's what I mean. It's hard to find a spot where he doesn't have a double.
Or if I put it here, you might have triple.
Like here?
Even if we can,
Yeah, okay.
give a hard time.
All right, I like that. Yeah.
So James Grattan now. They had a few options, it looked like. I think they're just going to guard.
There was certainly a lot of concern about where you leave your shooter that's actually going to stick around once you've left everything to the skip who has the hammer.
what we were talking earlier. I mean, one of the toughest shots in this game is going to be throwing a guard that perfectly protects your shot rock, because placing it with a small margin of error, that's going to be really tough, and it'll be up. This is a team shot. You'll need good sweeping, good line call, good weight.
Line's a hair tight. Hold it out there if you can. 4 is great.
I do love that phrase, team shot, because they truly,
Right here.
they don't come across as
Line's
often
good.
as you think they do, but
Might over curl.
when everybody has got something to do with that rock being in the perfect spot,
Hold
it's
then,
very
hold.
satisfying.
Whoa.
Top 12 was the call.
No, 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 no.
That might over curl.
Might. Two's pretty big. Play the, like, we can try and, you just clip it, you clip it. If we don't, right, make sure we,
But yeah, it's just curling.
Looking at a 3 potentially here.
you like the same weight?
Wait. I don't know why Jamie said sorry.
It'll run a little
I don't
bit.
know what else we could have done.
Yeah. You like that? Yeah.
So last rock for Dean Grindheim, certainly a shot for 2, but is 3 there?
Same weight. Yeah.
That one just curl a bit then?
Yeah. Like we were going for 10 and a half last time. She said I had close to 11.
Okay.
Sherry, I'm going to try 10 and a half. Yep. Yep.
For casual curling fans, 10 and a half, what are they talking about, Christina? I think that's hog to hog.
It is hog to hog,
Yeah.
yes. So you'll hear them reference 14.5 for a draw. And there's a variety of very precise times for different types of hits, but a 10 and a half, I believe, is there.
Are they going to get this by the guard? Ingram and Tenachek really leaning into this. And it will wreck, and it will be a steal of 1 for Team New Brunswick. So the rock that James Grattan threw on his last rock
Not quite enough.
over curled, but it still came into play, and that's what we're going to see on this swingy ice.
What was that?
Definitely still worked in their favor, and I mean, a guard can be often more helpful than you expect.
Yeah. Yeah. We're trying to
You
hit
put them up,
offset
and then
the
they're
blue.
just annoying for a
And we-
while,
and
but
we know that
occasionally they come in very handy when
Exactly.
you're not even looking to them to do anything.
So we'll go into this third end. Team Saskatchewan down 2-0, but they will have Hammer in the third.
All over.
We can give you updates on the other games in action here Monday afternoon at the 2021 Canadian Mixed here in Canmore.
All over the place.
3 sheets in play here at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club, and it is Team Ontario, Mike
Yeah, you're
McLean.
on the right weight with everything.
With a 1-0 record, they are up now 3-1 over Prince Edward Island's Jamie Newson. 3-1 after the second end.
In. He wants
And in
top.
the other game going on this morning, or this afternoon, pardon me, it is Newfoundland Labradors. Keith Ryan, taking a second end deuce, and he is up 2-0 on Team British Columbia, skipped by Sebastian Robillard from Kamloops. All the scores all the time. You can get them on curling.ca/scoreboard. That's curling.ca/scoreboard. Get all the scores, all the lineups, all the standings from the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship here at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club.
It's good, it's good.
Cool fall day here in Canmore today. Still some snow on the ground. It was just below 0. But it's lovely to look out as we look out our broadcast location and see those beautiful Rocky Mountains behind us. Keep waiting for an elk to go on the driving range there.
It wouldn't surprise me. They do like to hang out on the golf courses in the fall. People vacate, and it just becomes prime pasture.
Good throw. I thought I was good when I let it go.
I know, me too. Just live and race.
I've always taken it as a bit of an indication of how hard the sweepers are having to work when the jackets are gone and we're down to t-shirts. Especially this club is not a particularly warm one.
I was gonna say.
So you know they've been working.
Props to the spectators who have been out there at ice level too. It's yeah, this is not the warmest club ever, but
3. Don't want to. It might be in. Yeah.
center guard was the call, but sweepers are indicating that it's going to be just about frozen to their shot stone.
Good. That's nice, Jacqueline. That ran way different. I didn't.
So Saskatchewan does have the corner guard up, but Dean Ingram wants to jiggle these up a little bit and provide some backing for later in the end, perhaps.
He's not asking for too big a weight, but definitely something to kind of shuffle things up, I think. Though this is coming in more as a regular draw weight.
Corner guard is called
A 3.
for Jamie Brannon.
Halfway. Gotta go for weight a bit. 1. Gotta go for weight.
Working hard to get this across. It will get across. Now will it get to the center line that they want?
Not quite.
I know. Yeah.
Does do the work of kind of boxing off that half of the sheet, though, so that certainly changes the options moving forward.
Here.
Looks like Cole Tenichuk could probably see just about the entire red stone that is their third shot rock right now. The double bump was the call here.
He's throwing about backline weight is what he was asked for. So again, just a shuffle, not quite as dramatic as a full-on hit.
No. Good.
So it still is New Brunswick sitting first and second, but Saskatchewan's starting to build some rocks at the top of the house. I think James Grattan will recognize that danger.
Okay.
It's definitely prime real estate. When you're fighting for the space behind the tee line, it's something's
Little
gone wrong.
heavy.
Jamie Brannon get this going a little bit. Is it going to get by the guard? I think it's going to tick just a little tight on the release there from Jamie Brannon.
Same thing. Same weight.
And he's going to throw the same shot again. His weight was quite nice to shuffle things around, so I think we're hoping to keep some backing, I think is the idea here.
Might over curl a little though, I think.
Stay on it. We're going for this one. Stay on it. Whoa, whoa.
That was a clever audible from Dean Grindheim. They were trying to get the top red one to bump it up, but it over curled
Almost all of it.
that, and you'll see how it still made some good contact and kept 3 red counters in the rings.
I think they might be shot now, just based off that little roll in at the end there, but
Julian Babin now going to be asked to play something to remove some red rocks, I think. Trying to keep this straight. I think it's on the guard, though.
It's definitely curling. That guard just keeps getting in the way.
Both teams still not quite convinced at how much curl there is in this ice, I think.
No,
Pump
and
it.
I think this is the same side of the sheet that we saw come into center, curling into center very dramatically in the first end, and I think they're starting to get wise to that again.
Sherry Just now. Saskatchewan down 2-0 with Hammer playing this third end.
Yep. Yep, line. Yeah, gotta go. Roll it off. Gotta roll it off. Gotta roll it off. That's fine. Okay. Oops, sorry.
Adding another to the collection in front of the tee line, but there's still an open space to get into that blue.
I think James Grattan recognizes the danger of all those. See if they can get the double, look like the call here. Might even be a triple if you throw enough weight at it, but getting two out of the way, especially in that danger zone, as you call it, Christina, I think that's the big part of this shot.
Yeah.
Because that is, for sure.
He's definitely looking to clear some out there.
Jillian Babin now with her final shot of this third end. Sweep is called right away. Jamie Brannon. Not a bad outcome.
Not quite what they were looking for, but it does
I think nose is pretty good.
open things up and get rid of some red, which I think is positive in this case.
But a nose hit, I think, here is a call for the double takeout, and that
You want 9 or 10?
could leave Saskatchewan sitting 4.
Whoa. Whoa. Got a curl.
Trying to get this to move over, but I think it's on their own.
He just didn't love it coming out of her hand, and I don't know that there was really any recovery for that curl over the center line.
A rare undercurl.
Not often seen here, but when it happens, it certainly makes you
Yeah, whatever turn you like.
have to think the rest of the end about what you're doing.
So that is going from an opportunity that Saskatchewan had to sit 4. Suddenly now New Brunswick has a chance to sit 3. James Grattan about to throw his first shot.
It's whatever turn you want to throw. I think.
this one, I could be a little firmer with this one and
Okay.
make sure of this.
Yep. We can. Okay.
Asking for a touch more ice there, so
Don't think he's going to throw a ton at this.
no.
James has got experience in all kinds of ice conditions over his great career.
Yes, yes. Hard.
He'll figure this out in a hurry.
Hard.
This one's going to
hard,
curl.
Really hard. Really
It
hard.
might
Really hard.
be a jam. It will be.
I was just
Hard that goes.
kind of caught up with his very solid slide.
Double it
No
and then
need
hope it
for
doesn't
the
jam.
broom there. It hovers actually just above the ice if you're watching on his next delivery.
It's a decoration.
It's really just a prop.
Like that, it might stick back
Yeah,
there, right?
James has always been that
If we just
beautiful
double it, and
delivery
we-
ever since
could be laying two.
he broke through in the national scene at that 1997 Brier
Yeah.
in Calgary at the Saddle Dome. Very memorable
Unless we hit it.
moments at that
Thick and over
Brier
the
when
top.
he was between ends They're playing some maritime music, and he was dancing right down there in the ice service. And
We don't have anything with that.
he had the crowd in the palm of his hand there for sure.
If we nose this,
Things get a little
isn't-
serious when you're having to continually
bad, but it's
renegotiate
not
strategy,
great.
but the main goal of any sport is fun. So
yeah.
Well, what was very funny about that too is he was trying to convince his vice, or mate as they call him out there, vice skip Charles Sullivan
To
to
roll there
join him in the
probably
dance.
good.
And Charles said, nah, no, I'll pass. I'll leave it to you, James. Good times at that
and make a
Briar
double?
in Calgary.
a jig
Try
on
and
ice is a whole
hit it
new
here
level
and
of
hopefully
athleticism.
goes across the top of that.
So it is New Brunswick sitting a couple.
Thinking that with Peel.
Dean Grindheim should have the double here.
That's what he was looking for.
I think we got to try and double it out of there and Peel. We may pick our back one, but I don't think we have a choice.
This is a similar line
Peel.
to what Sherry is her name, I believe?
Yeah.
Had thrown where it didn't curl. So he's taking a much less ice than he had asked her for.
I think he's going to throw a lot more weight.
No, he's
too.
also throwing a lot more weight. So yeah, that'll do it.
Like
But
that or sliver more? What's it going to run with Peel? It should run pretty straight. Yeah.
Might curl a little bit.
Oh.
First shot of this third end underway from Dean Grindheim. They're trying to keep it on the high side of that blue rock, but
they're
Well-
not going to have that undercurl problem.
nope. It still will be New Brunswick sitting one.
Well, those would be really good.
Nose or you can roll into this.
Yeah. I was just
It's been a
thinking if we
scary
roll,
end
like,
for New
rock-
Brunswick. All this
Yeah.
end, Saskatchewan has had rocks in good places,
Hit it in that jam.
but they just haven't been able to deliver the
had the ball
one
there,
shot
yeah.
that would set up
That's
a big
what I'm saying, yeah.
score.
This has certainly been an end of opportunity either way, but there hasn't really been quite the execution you need to get those 3s and 4s that are lingering in the wings.
James Grattan, last shot of this third end. Got to make something good here. There's still some Saskatchewan stones that could come back to haunt him, but it is still New Brunswick sitting first and third.
Whoa! Never. Hard, 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 hard. You gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta go.
Okay, that's nice. Good shot.
Now it is New Brunswick sitting 1, 2, 3, and really only one shot available to Dean Grindheim.
What do you think about there?
No skip legs when there's only one option.
Full 4. Sherry just suggesting maybe if he wants a different turn, but I think they'll
Either way is pretty much the same, isn't it?
I think it's the same throw either way.
So he will stick with the counterclockwise rotation, the right-hander's out
Same
turn.
weight, right?
Yeah, weight's good.
We talked about that team shot a moment ago. Here's another one where
This will be one.
everybody's going to have a role to play in making this shot. You heard Cole Tenichuk say right away, gotta go.
Take a look. Take a look.
I think that's gonna have to worry about line here a little bit more than weight.
Yep. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Okay. Easy.
Very, very nice.
Good judge by the sweep there.
That's a huge draw from Dean Grindheim, and it will be a single point for Saskatchewan. They were looking at 3, but see Cole Tenichuk and Allison Ingram working hard. And and they get the job done.
Just trying to stay warm, maybe.
That too. So it will be a 2-1 lead for New Brunswick. They will take hammer into this fourth end. But that was a good example where they figured out the line, figured out the weight, and that's a big confidence boost, I got to think, for Team Saskatchewan.
Definitely. And as we mentioned on that team shot, when your front end has decided to sweep and they're head down going for it, it's nice to have a teammate say, hey, take a look at where we are.
Got room, lots of room.
Definitely puts a bit of spring in your step, though, when you feel like you've nailed the
Finish
weight
at
and
the
you
end.
can judge it now.
Yeah, now you can go. Yep, yep, yep. That's good. Good throw.
And those center guards that were a bit of a mystery in the first and second end, now they're making them.
They are making
And that's the sign of a good curling team.
Two, maybe. One.
I don't think it has the curl.
There's the Canadian mixed in a nutshell, right? You got two players sweeping, and James Grattan and Dean Grindheimer just having a chat
time.
in the hack.
Yep.
Found any good restaurants yet? Yeah, what'd you think? Yeah.
Canmore's got plenty. They got lots to talk about.
Two good
Tight
guards
line,
thrown
tight
up.
line.
Now Allison Ingram will try and get one
Yep.
behind that center guard that she threw in her first.
Line's really good if you can get it here. Okay, off now, off now. Gonna come out, gonna come out. Good throw.
Lovely weight, but
Yeah, I know.
almost
Yeah.
impossible to bury perfectly. And you see how far that poked out the other side.
Just that final little spin there.
Down.
Just enough open for them to
It's really light, too.
take advantage.
But that's all over the
Straight.
top guard.
Curling right past.
They were
Little
trying to
bit of a
avoid the
tick.
free guard zone rule. That actually is not a bad tick.
That definitely worked in their favor. They'll have to replace it here just to keep things safe.
Cole Tenachik now. Cole, by the way, he's a disc golf enthusiast.
Easy.
Plays on the Professional Disc Golf Association events in Western Canada. He's been a top 10 finisher in 3 of those professional events.
I have to say, I did not know
Whoa,
that was something
whoa.
that you could be that engaged with. But we have multiple
Whoa,
courses in
come up
town,
with-
so
We
I'm
were
wondering
talking
what he's
about-
doing between games.
We were talking about just that
Okay.
prior to the game, as a matter of fact.
That's certainly somewhere you'll run into some elk. Up in Three Sisters, there's a course
Yep.
through the middle of a neighborhood, and you usually have to call a game midway through as the herd has wandered through.
You do not want to get in the way of a bull elk when they're in a bad mood.
No, it's hard to play a full game up there, so I wish him the best in that.
He said he's played at the Canmore Nordic Center course as well, and he said one of his discs
Tough
is
course.
still there.
It is a very tough course, notoriously. So
Don't get us going on a tangent. That's a sport I've just taken up myself as well. So good times, great disc golf facilities in this part of the world.
I know.
And we've seen things cleaned up in the house here. Back to curling.
It's a great shot by Jamie Brannon there. The run double. Still the center guard up, though, in two corners, so both teams have some opportunities to generate offense.
Yep.
It is New Brunswick with last rock in this fourth end.
Yep, gotta go.
That one needs legs.
Whoa, whoa.
Great shot, Jamie.
Okay.
That will stagger as well.
Yeah, I like that call.
There's that much difference between...
Could have gone behind. Well, there's a
Same thing.
tasty call too. It's
Yeah,
lined up
definitely.
nicely. It's
Yeah.
queued up to.
Let's keep the most rocks we can. Just make them count for something.
So the call here is to about half a rock on that red. That'll push the blue into the rings, ideally behind the corner guards, and then the shooter rolls
11.
over
Yep.
into that corner guard pile.
11.
Why bother with draws? We've seen so many.
Okay. No, it's a little too much.
Just needed a little more of the contact. Worked out pretty good though.
Is that going here? Or here?
It's a bold call.
It certainly is.
Saskatchewan will try and put one in behind the corner guards, Sherry Just. The danger, of course, being that it is a blue corner guard that's pretty short, and
It'd be a
you know exactly what will happen if he makes this shot.
Well, we've
There's
seen
lots
him
of
already
room.
try to make use of that guard, so
Lots of room.
the idea to bring it back isn't completely out of left field.
Or leave it high. Leave it high. Leave it here. Leave it here.
Oh, change of plans.
Too
We're
late.
gonna leave it high.
Okay.
Just a little wide of the
That's
broom
fine.
maybe
That's fine.
there.
That's fine. That's fine.
Let's make a roll here.
The hit and roll will be the call for Jillian Babin.
Nice
Yeah.
opportunity here to hide.
Yeah. I was throwing 10-5 like last end, eh?
Didn't quite get the roll there. Saw Jamie Brannon dancing around to see if he could get a little bit more curl on that stone, but it's going to be exposed.
Like that?
Sherry Just, her second shot of this fourth end.
Whoa! Cole. Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Good.
There's the
She
roll.
gets that roll.
If he makes this raise, rolls onto the rings, they're sitting two.
Yes, they are. We had predicted he might look to this guard, and it's definitely a call that keeps things interesting.
It's interesting, the more buried it was, the bigger opportunity it was for New Brunswick. If that had been directly behind the blue, then it's a short raise, but you only sit one.
This gives him that extra appealing option for two, and we know she can throw it.
Oh, hard.
I think that was released inside.
Touch inside.
Never mind.
I might reserve my we know she can throw it for after I haven't jinxed her.
Yeah, that's on you.
That's my bad.
And now there's an overlap, and that red rock isn't going to be removed easily at all.
Here, right? Do we beat him to it, like right here? So, no matter what, he's going to play hit and roll. I don't like. I think we either go here or we go here. I like.
What do you like?
It's just what I.
Part of me really
Yeah, I'm
likes to
thinking-
split the house. I mean, mostly because I don't really love a repetitive end where we keep throwing the same shot. So
Variety is the spice of
yeah,
life.
it makes you think. I mean, we saw them make the other team think with how many rocks they had in play last end. So the more you can have in opportune places, the better.
Try and go top 8.
But
If we can get full 8 if it's, kind of right beside
the
ours.
opportune places is kind of key.
Because that blue and red's overlapped.
Yeah.
It's less ice than Sherry's.
Sherry's good.
But Sherry's, we stayed on the center line. Right? We were this far off the center line with
Yeah.
Sherry's. And I was we were basically edge of 80 before I had her ice.
What do you like?
Well, open side guarantees the force. The almost practically guarantees the force. If he left that there, he's right. James Grattan would certainly call the come around draw himself. So I guess that was the mindset of Team Gridheim, is they want to get there first because they know James Grattan would be going there if they don't.
Line will be good.
That sounds it's light though.
Well then, well then, well then, well then, well
It's
then, well then.
definitely going to curl in ahead of those corner guards there.
And now James Grattan will certainly play that draw and see if he can get it in for shot rock.
Into that nice little pocket of protection there.
We've certainly seen this path a lot this game.
We have.
And it's been a little mystery now and then for the players, but we'll see if James Grattan has solved that mystery with his first shot of the fourth end.
Line's good. Line's good. Whoa for line. It's got to curl. Just leave it if you can. Okay, go for just for weight. It's got to be 8 foot. Finish it. Hard finish. As far as it can. As far as
Brennan
you
and
go. Come on.
Crandall trying to get this in for shot rock. They just do.
The
But I
next
think
question is it hidden enough?
Around that?
Or would they go around it?
Or-
You didn't
That's a
discuss
good-
it.
I don't know, that one good, right? No. So what did we have? We had about here?
We had here.
Okay. There?
I think coming behind it is the call.
Maybe you gotta try and go around them. Yeah. This is about.
Yeah, they don't see too much of that blue
5 inch, 6 inch.
count
No.
shot rock at all.
That'll be
So.
positive
No,
on
definitely not.
release. I was a little soft on that last one.
Yeah, a little soft and just a little light.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see, too, what a skip will call for his player's level of comfort and what he would prefer, because we've seen him ask for some hack weight, tuck in behind type things, but he clearly prefers a different shot for himself. And I don't know that moving that blue has any real benefit for their shooter.
Got room. We got room. We got room. We got room.
Lots and lots of room. Are they going to be able to bury it? Is the question.
Oh, it's coming. Look at it go.
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, that finished.
It certainly did.
Little less ice.
So,
If you were here.
Yeah, you ain't getting more.
Yeah, from there. Yeah.
Calling much tighter ice for his second round at the shot.
so it is a draw, or maybe a draw tap, potentially for 2 here. First priority is to score, but there is enough room there. I think they can get to that back shot rock, and they only have to move it 6 inches.
I missed the conversation about weight, but looking at where her broom is right now, I want to say he's coming in a bit more than your standard draw. Anything behind the back line leaves room for that tap, which is nice.
Okay, hard then. Hard then. Where? Okay, hard. Line's good.
Brannon and Crandall working this stone, trying to bring it as deep as possible to see if they can move that Saskatchewan stone, and it will rub. And it will be a single point for New Brunswick, so Saskatchewan gets the force, and we will go into the fourth end break with New Brunswick in a 3-1 lead here at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. They'll take their fourth end break. We will too, and we'll be back in a few moments to the Canmore Golf and Curling Club.
One might say I was born to overcome challenges. 2 months premature, in and out of the hospital, and a heart condition. My parents call me their miracle baby. As with all survivors, I searched for my place in this world, and I found it here. This pebbled ice is where I battle now, and at only 12, I am already a 5-year veteran of this sport. I have my sights set on the Olympics. I will push hard to get there. The only size that matters in this sport is the size of your dreams.
Sweep! Sweep! Hurry! Hurry! Hard! Hurry hard! Hard! Hurry hard! 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 Yeah! Woo! We should really be curling.
This ice is everything. It's where I come to feel close to her, to feel whole. This building helped raise me when my mother no longer could. When I step on the ice, she steps with me. My dad is my rock. We are a team now, like the 4 of us when we step on the ice. People say that this isn't a contact sport, but that's not true. It contacts you where you need it the most.
The game with the ice, and the rocks, and the sweeping, and the yelling. Each game starts with a handshake. Then, 2 teams of 4 people take turns throwing 44-pound stones down a sheet of ice. Each team throws 8 rocks, and the team closest to the center after all the rocks are thrown will score the points. This process is repeated for 6 to 10 rounds until one team is victorious. It's just that simple. Or is it?
are back at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. Fifth end action about to get underway here at the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. It is Team New Brunswick, skipped by James Grattan from Fredericton, taking on Team Saskatchewan, skipped by Dean Grindheim from North Battleford, Saskatchewan, and it is Team New Brunswick in a 3-1 lead.
Whoa, it's heavy.
Going into the fifth end, and as we like to do in these circumstances, we'll ask our color commentator Christina Langs to be the coach. Christina, what would you have talked to about both of these teams if you were coaching them at the fourth end break? Let's start with Team Saskatchewan.
It's similar for both teams, but just a reminder that they do seem to be getting a hold of the curl and not to let it get in your head. I think there's a lot of analysis that happens each end as you're trying to get used to the ice, and you kind of start to overthink what's happening. Just remembering that you obviously have the skills if you're here.
I have to curl
just
a bit.
Breathe. I think there's a bit of, if a shot doesn't go well a couple times in a row, it gets held onto, and just remembering to let it go and on to the next.
Good.
And that applies to both teams, I would think.
It applies to both teams, definitely. I think there was some frustration getting used to the curl and the weight, and we saw multiple players throwing the same throw multiple times in a row, and probably some frustration building that there wasn't quite the result they were hoping for. So just we're into the second half now, and we've got a good feel for it. So just moving forward.
Take a quick look at the other two games on the ice, both of them now into the fifth end. It is Ontario's Mike McLean up into an 8-1 lead over Prince Edward Island's Jamie Newson. Team Ontario taking 4 in the third and then stealing 1 in the fourth. So 8-1. Prince Edward Island does have hammer in the fifth. And BC's Sebastian Robillard from Kamloops in a 3-1, 3-2 lead
10 right on the nose
over Team Newfoundland Labradors. Keith Ryan, they're from Labrador City. We'll see that BC team in action later today. We've got 2 more draws scheduled to be broadcast here at the Canadian Mixed at 4 p.m. These are Mountain Standard Time. 4 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That'll be Team Northern Ontario and Team Manitoba. And then at 7:30 Mountain Time, we'll see New Brunswick yet again on this sheet. They will throw different colored rocks, so don't think they're getting any kind of advantage. They will be in action against Team BC. That game will be at 7:30 Mountain Time and 10:30 if you're staying up in Fredericton tonight. So great coverage throughout this Canadian Mix with our friends at IKS Live, doing a wonderful job producing these broadcasts for Curling Canada's YouTube channel. And you'll see plenty more action on IKS Live and Curling Canada YouTube as the season goes on. They'll be at the Everest Canadian Curling Club Championships in Ottawa later this month, and then at the Everest Canadian Seniors in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario in December. So lots of great action coming up on Curling Canada's YouTube channel with IKS Live doing all the hard work behind the scenes. So we're into second stones here into this fifth end. Cole Tenichuk trying to make a couple, at least one, if not 2, New Brunswick stones go away.
Okay.
And there was only 1, so I don't know why I would have said a couple, but optical illusion.
Optimism there.
There you go.
Make a rock appear to make it go away. There's definitely a cleaner sheet happening this end, so I think we're changing up the pace of the game a little bit, maybe.
I will say this is the slowest game on the ice. We haven't had slow games, but these teams both around the 12.5-minute mark to play the final 3.5 ends. Should be plenty of time. Both teams also have their timeouts, so it's a slower pace than we've been accustomed to in the first 2 broadcasts that we've shown on this sheet.
I'm wondering how much of that is the curl getting to them.
I don't think you're wrong. I think it's exactly that. Just trying to figure out where to put the broom.
A room. Wait if you can. Wait if you can. Whoa. Come deep. Go deep if you can. Yep. Both of you. Yep.
Saskatchewan with hammer. They chose to ignore that New Brunswick counter and use their guard, but doesn't quite bury.
Like that or less?
I like that.
Leaves the option to create 2 here.
Jamie. Keep going. Keep going. That's good.
You see, they're almost starting to compensate because that's a couple times now where they've actually been trying to carve their rocks. I mean, there's not much carving that can be done anymore with these new style broom heads, but it's still a thing. Can be done, and clearly these teams are figuring out as the game goes on where to put that broom. Not seeing too many overcurls anymore.
Not as many, definitely not.
And having said that, of course, I'll jinx one of these here, but we'll see if Sherry Just.
Don't jinx Sherry.
Whoa. Close. Yep.
Her rock is really moving.
No roll. No roll. No roll. No roll. No roll.
You're going to have a roll.
That will poke out the other side, so I guess the danger of
Just,
rolling it
about the
buried
same
was
as
they
the
know
last one?
James Grattan would just corner freeze to it, so.
Okay.
This will be the biggest weight we've seen this far out so far, so it'll be interesting to see how it takes to curl.
Jillian Babin now.
Yep. Really hard.
Jamie Brannon trying to
right
hold
to it.
that line. Will it get by the guard?
Gotta go.
Just tears the guard, and they will remove the Saskatchewan stone. Good sweep by Jamie
Unfortunately,
Brannon.
it doesn't look like they stick around, so they still have their one.
Like here or here? Okay. Like that? Room. You have to curl, curl, curl.
Sherry Druss trying to get it behind this guard. Now they're going to try and see if they can
Gotta curl, gotta curl.
get a little more movement out of it,
I
which
have to
is
say, that's one of the first times I've heard has to curl.
Yeah.
Usually
words you will not hear very often on sheet A. But they do get it to curl, and it's pretty well positioned. The only thing is it's a little deep, maybe.
touch, but it
Yours
is
came
nicely
in there
buried.
pretty good with peel.
With peel.
Kind of go either way with this, but this looks nice. I think it'll go there with board, won't it? Yeah.
I think we can confirm it will go there with board, James.
That's the general consensus, yes.
Yeah. If we've learned nothing else. James Grattan, first shot of this fifth end.
Never. Yes!
Whoa!
Yes! Whoa!
Wow!
Yes! Hard!
Whoa!
Hard!
Be
Jacqueline,
close.
hard! Whoa.
Just gets by the guard. Very nice.
Nice shot.
But guard is certainly good for suspense this end.
So it is New Brunswick sitting a couple.
Probably like that.
Looks like the freeze will be the call from Dean Grindheim. Made a great shot. Similar path in the third end, you may recall, to the
Try and
button,
freeze on his
looking
back
at
one.
a pile of potential New Brunswick counters.
I think no matter where you tuck
he's got
behind,
his draw
he's
weight
gonna be
down.
shot rock, and I think he can get to it anywhere, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
He's made the choice to use that blue that is sitting as backing, as he just said. He can get to you anywhere, so you might as well have something making it a little harder to take you out.
Reminder, the winner of Sunday's gold medal game will represent Canada at the 2022 World Mixed Championship. That'll take place next October in Aberdeen, Scotland. So plenty on the line for these teams competing here in Canmore.
Goodness, if they haven't already written the marketing slogans, curling returns to the homeland.
Exactly. Boy, that looks really good. Very nice.
Nose it, eh?
Nose, yeah. You could come this way, you know it, but it curls more.
Yeah. I think I can throw it firm.
Firm?
Keep it high.
Even if we do get
No, I know, but
okay.
I think that was firm.
Firm? Okay.
Yeah, my firm.
I don't know what that is, but
I think there was firm. My firm.
That was great. I don't know what that is,
you
but
try to interpret weight using phrases like control and normal. Okay, but your control and your normal, or we're looking at Jamie Grattan's firm.
High would be better.
Completely different from someone else's firm.
mentioned Aberdeen, Scotland hosting that World Mixed Championship. It'll be good vibes for whatever team Canada goes there, as last time this event was held there, 2019, Canada's Colin Kerr's team from Manitoba won the gold medal. So good vibes in Aberdeen.
Yep.
Whoa!
Yep. Oh, whoa.
No! Curl it.
Yep, pick it. Yep.
Whoa,
Straight.
No, you're not picking it. Okay.
Caught in the middle there, it looked like the call was nose hit, but when it wasn't curling, they thought they'd try and pick it out, but to sit two, but it will be a blank attempt for Dean Grindheim here in this fifth end.
Right, if we take one, we take one, right? But
A blank can certainly be helpful if you're looking to build for more, which he
off, right? Way out
definitely
here.
is.
Well, I think we take just a little more. Right?
Taking Hammer into the sixth end, not a terrible situation either. So
Break the pattern of a game of ones with that kind of a change.
Try peel. If it comes up and we take one, but it's. That was like half a lion or something there.
last shot, Dean Grindheim in this fifth end. Trying to peel that New Brunswick stone out of the rings. Zoltanichuk trying to keep it on the high side, but they will nose it.
And he is going to take one.
And it will be, as you say, a score of one for Saskatchewan. So New Brunswick will take a 1-point lead and the hammer into the sixth end. Tricky spot in the ice there. They almost would have been better served by not sweeping it and letting it just go across the face, but hard to say that at the time.
But how are we to know?
How are we to know?
It's always interesting the second you're playing that far out on the sheet, because it's harder to predict because you're not playing out there as often. And
certainly not with that kind of weight, too.
No, definitely not.
Allison Ingram now being called for the center guard to open this sixth end. Reminder, these are 8-end games.
Yeah, you got to finish a bit.
30-minute time limits, and each team does have its 2 timeouts.
Easy though. At the end.
Interestingly, this isn't finishing to center quite as nicely as it did for her.
Nice.
Coming down in the fourth.
Okay, no, I didn't mind it.
Christina, while we have a moment, we'll just take a moment to recognize this host facility, the Canmore Golf and Curling Club, and the host committee. Dennis Graham and his team have done an outstanding job getting this place into shape for the Canadian Mixed. We're supposed to be here last year, as you may recall, and Obviously, the pandemic had other plans, but we were really happy to be able to see this event happen this year in Canmore. And big thanks to all of the local sponsors here for this event. The Canmore Golf and Curling Club obviously hosting the facility. Tourism Canmore Kananaskis. Visions Electronics. Canmore Brewery and Distillery Tours. Canmore Raft Tours. Mary's Popcorn Shop. Rome Transit. Black Stallion Spirits. GDS, Golf Design Services Limited, Moosehead Breweries, and my favorite, El Tequilino Tequila. Great group of sponsors backing this event here in Canmore.
It's exciting that it did finally make it here. I know we were poised and ready to make it happen last year, but obviously we've had to pivot a bit, and there's always a great group of volunteers that come out for anything that happens in Canmore. So
that's going to need some help, I think. Will come up short.
I'll save us all the cheesy jokes about the skip sweeping to make themselves feel better.
A couple token strokes there from Dean Gernheim, but that wasn't going to get the job done. That was just a little short.
Yeah, we're the tick.
Trying a new angle at the team shot.
That's right. So the draw behind the corner guard is the call for Jacqueline Crandall.
You gotta go ahead. Or wait. 2.
Line's good.
No.
Right here.
3.
Just clean, maybe.
Yeah, it's just good on its own.
That's perfect. Nice shot.
Shot, Jacqueline.
So it was the double corners was the call there, actually, not coming in behind. So
or here. Whoa if you can. Whoa if you can. I think you're deep.
I think it might die
Can
a
you
little
line it
sooner
right
than
up?
you think.
Sherry. Okay.
So we're doubled up on guards.
Might go here, it's not bad.
double peel will be the call for Jamie Brannon. Mentioned that James and Jamie played in that Tim Hortons Brier last March in the bubble in Calgary. They actually had a great start to that event. Won 4 of their first 5 games, including wins over Mike McEwen and Brad Jacobs. Their only loss in that first few games was against Team Botcher, and we all know, of course, what happened with Team Botcher. They went on to win Tim Hortons Brier, but will that get on the rings?
All right,
cheeky.
Oh, sorry about that.
No,
But
too busy watching over there too.
Team Grattan did then lose its final 3 and just missed qualifying for the championship pool in the bubble. But pretty solid Brier under, as we can't say enough, unique circumstances to say the least, as most of those teams came into the bubble with not a lot of practice time and certainly not a lot of games.
And this event is sort of bubble-like in terms of its social atmosphere. I know that you were really excited to kind of put on a show and have everybody be able to tour around, but you have to be cautious knowing that they're going to be traveling representing Canada. And so it doesn't have quite the same banquet and event structure as a normal spiel, but the curling is still just as good.
That's a great shot by Cole Tanichuk.
They've decided not to let any blue linger on the fringes this time.
It is a biter.
Hold on. Dale. Sorry. No.
Sorry. Yeah.
So Jamie Brannon will be asked to draw in behind those 2 corner guards.
Line's nice. Right here.
Gavin and Crandall think it's light.
Curl.
Curl it.
Can you go deep? Deep? Yep, go. All you can.
It's not deep, it's really good weight. Nice shot.
Very nice weight. Not going to be buried particularly much, though, so.
You got a third? You got about a third? Okay. What do you like? Hack?
Very take no prisoners approach from Saskatchewan this end.
Either like dead freeze or kill it. Okay. Pack, board.
It's definitely different from the freeze on freeze on freeze end that we saw.
Sure is, isn't
this
it?
way previously.
If they can hold the shooter, the force is definitely in play this end. That would be a win for Saskatchewan, but they're going to have to work hard to get this by this guard.
Gotta go! Hard all the way! Right to it! Hard! Hard! Stay on it! Stay on it! Gotta go by the
Up by
rim.
one guard.
Hard!
Get by the second guard.
Good, sweet.
And
it
roll
buries.
buried, but
Beautiful throw by Sherry.
but James Grattan, no hesitation. He'll call the corner freeze. That was about the only danger of ending up buried like that, is the corner freeze is definitely in play for Julian Babin.
Good line.
It's really soft.
Go then. Make it good. Line's real good. Right here.
Kind of like
gotta
the
go
instruction.
line.
Make it
Oh,
good.
oh, no
from the
bounce.
skip.
That looks hot.
Good thing you told me that. I was actually trying to make it bad.
Yep,
I
line.
was working on the opposite goal, but
That looks tasty.
Awesome.
Really nice
I'd
shot.
say they made that good.
Yep, that's a terrific shot. Julian Babin.
This is shot.
She's made a couple of those this game in that particular path,
Either
too.
try the same
She
thing
has.
or. Do you want to use a timeout? What kind of weight?
This is the true test of a skip in their thirds communication. Can you reach a consensus from opposite ends of the sheet?
And it will be a timeout. And mention the time situation. Saskatchewan's getting a little snug. They've got 7.5 minutes right now, and they're on third rocks in
Kind
this
of weight,
end.
you thinking?
With my last attack.
Yeah.
Listen to this
But like,
conversation.
you got to catch a sliver of it if we're going to believe two.
Right.
Like, I mean, a sliver of it.
We can also play on the floor.
Yeah.
This is the easier shot.
I think it is. Right.
Like, ideally, if we played it the same way, it's
You're just
really
gonna-
good, but
Right.
it's a lot tougher shot.
Okay, let's go over here though.
You like that?
I don't know what.
Well, Cole just threw there. Cole just threw there.
It ran pretty good.
Yep. Yep. You got all that red one?
Oh yeah, like it looks
Okay, I think we played 9 now.
nice. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
You like that? I think that's the. Okay.
Okay, making it a team decision seemed effective. So they're looking to come from the outside, bring their red in, rather than following that same path we've seen a few times now.
It is interesting compared to the earlier ends when we were playing on this side of the sheet, how the mindset has changed, particularly from Team Saskatchewan, as they've played a couple hits now, not wanting
Like
to
that?
get into a mess on this side.
I think they've seen how long that back and forth can run on, and they've chosen to be a bit more decisive in their breaking of the pattern.
So the wide side, counterclockwise rotation, her out turn, raise takeout, short angle raise
I
takeout.
believe they were discussing a 9 for weight, so this is definitely up there for her, probably.
Whoa! Yep. Sit down. Good.
Very nice shot.
Nice work.
Same.
So James Grattan going hard for the deuce. Could have played the double. That would almost surely mean the blank. So he's going to try and get Julian Babin to make that nice freeze again.
Oh yeah, it's really light. It's really light.
Good line. Good line.
She believes she was light.
Curl of anything. Go then. Hard.
And I think she was right. That said, It's just going to lose a little rotation as it started curling. So
She'll serve to cut them down, though.
I guess the situation is Saskatchewan. What's their best shot to force New Brunswick to take a single? They are sitting one.
Are they choosing to split?
I think they are, because they know very well that there is a double takeout available on the 2 red stones over on the right side of the screen. So they got to make sure that this is sitting first or second shot.
Splitting the house here definitely starts to pull focus a bit. I think he's hoping to distract them. That's something that looks a little more appealing.
We do have our first final to report, by the way. It is Ontario's team, Mike McLean from Ottawa. They improved to 2-0 with a 10-3 win over Team Prince Edward Island's Jamie Newson. 10-3 win for Ontario.
I think you're more.
Certainly a decisive spread.
I think you're more than that.
Got to be first or second shot.
Just tee. Yep.
Looking pretty good.
Yep.
Very nice.
Yeah, just getting rolling. Normal.
James Grattan will play the hit on the shot stone.
He's taking the bait now, but we still have another 2 rocks left to see where this could go.
Oh, Dana's way be great.
After this one.
Hard to stay is not what you want to hear, but it will roll out.
Yeah. And no discussion needed for Dean. He was headed down long before that rock made it here. So Sherry knows exactly what she's calling. They're doing the same thing again.
Same shot he threw on the first. And as we said, the key is to be first or second shot.
I don't think so. More rotation. Easy. Okay, go. You're good.
That'll get the job done.
Good same ice, I'll just say, yeah.
Okay, so they're looking for the same, but hopefully to stay this time.
And it's a certainly different set of circumstances, because if he doesn't make it, there's Saskatchewan sitting 2 right now.
There's definitely a different vibe coming from the Saskatchewan team this end. They're moving with a bit more purpose.
Might be clock dictated
Could be
too.
clock
They're
oriented,
down to,
yes.
They still got plenty of time, and mentioned they still got the 1 timeout, but.
Whoa, then. Clean.
Whoa.
Yep. Straight. Hard. That's good.
And this one will stay.
Called and made, and will be a single point for New Brunswick. And a 4-2 lead after the 6th end. And the analytics typically tell you that 2 up with 2 ends to play is a pretty good place to be. But you still got to make the shots. So New Brunswick has work to do to finish off this game. Both these teams coming in after winning their opening games yesterday. Reminder that 2 pools of 7 teams each, and the top 4 teams in each pool will go into the championship pool that begins on Thursday.
This is where you see well-versed players really start to shine. When it feels like the game has settled into a flow and you're the team maybe down and you're wanting to break out of that pattern, that's where you see someone who really knows how to play this, shake things up and keep the momentum in their favor or change things. It's very much a mental game in this second half.
Talked about Jacqueline Crandall being in the bubble last year, playing with Team New Brunswick, skipped by Melissa Adams.
Might want it to grab something.
They had a 3-4 record in the bubble and didn't get into the championship pool. T-line. And the corner guard is the call right away by Dean Grindheim. I guess the mindset for Saskatchewan here is 2 or more or blank.
Those would be both the ideal scenarios. Anything else is tough to
one's
build.
not great.
No, one's not great. It's hard to build
By
that
itself.
into a final
By itself. All by itself.
culminating result you actually like.
Very impressed about how both these teams have adjusted as the game's gone on.
Where do you want
in
it?
terms of putting the broom down, both good learners, and that's not an insignificant skill in an event like this on unfamiliar ice.
Absolutely, and that's where you see the team communication really come into play. I noted the sweepers have their jackets off because they're working hard, but they're communicating with everybody what things are doing,
This one will die, right?
what the change has looked like over the last few ends, and the skips are keeping that
Mine's
in mind.
good. Just here.
They certainly know how everybody on their team throws, and
line.
they've managed to adapt their calls to those individual shots as well.
Yeah, it doesn't need much. Great shot.
New Brunswick sitting a couple.
Yep. Yep.
Allison Ingram getting to throw a rare hit for a lead. Like to hold this shooter in the rings, obviously.
Just a bit more roll than they had wanted there, but
You gotta go a bit for weight.
Real tight. Real tight line.
3.
Gotta keep a broom on it. Yeah, you gotta go. You gotta be in here. I got it.
That's good.
Good sweep.
Sweep that one.
I like 9.
New Brunswick's looking to win its 3rd Canadian Mixed Curling Championship and its first since 2007. And both of those mixed titles in 1994 and 2007 were won by Odeshaw's. Grant in 1994 and his brother Terry won in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah.
Same as you were throwing here before? Yeah.
New Brunswick looking to put their blue back
Same where you were throwing out here.
very
yeah.
persistently. You can take it, but we're going to keep putting it back.
Little less than what he was throwing.
Okay. Just watch.
And it just nose hit it.
Just watch.
Would have preferred to remove their shooter there, but it's now a chance to freeze to that stone and generate a little offense. Cole Tanichuk. Saskatchewan, by the way, have won the Canadian Mixed Championship 10 times. That's second highest total, behind only Alberta. And Saskatchewan last won this event in 2015 when Max Kirkpatrick. My apologies to Max. Won this event in 2015 in North Bay.
Okay.
Prior to that, Jason Ackerman won in 2012.
Either way is good. Maybe this is better.
Okay. Probably similar to what I was throwing this way.
We're calling on the team's long memory with similar to what I was throwing this way with hand motion. It's interesting to see the way different teams communicate with each other.
Good line.
You'll
Good
hear
line.
various sweepers
Where
use
is it?
zones to determine
Gotta
where
go
they think
then,
the
yep.
rock is going to finish, but you'll
If it's
also
light,
hear
you gotta
landmarks
sweep.
like
Let's
T
go.
It's really curling.
interspersed with
Come
3 or
on!
4.
Especially when you have blended teams, too.
Yeah,
Come
you'll need to be
on!
determining how you're
go!
going to communicate coming in, especially if everybody's playing with a different set of common terms on their various teams.
Just a little light with that shot was Jillian Babin. So
Bump
the
a little
same
bit, it's okay.
opportunity is now available to Sherry Just to freeze to that shot stone. Saskatchewan trying to generate a crooked number in this 7th end.
Room, 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 lots of room. Lots of room. Curl, 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 curl all the way, curl all the way, curl, 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 curl.
Don't you wish the Rocks responded to the
Hard, hard,
instructions?
hard, 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 hard.
They just never listen, but boy, that is a great shot.
Yeah.
Still is New Brunswick sitting shot position,
Just gotta
but a
take that
great
away.
freeze.
Just get in here.
You hear James Grattan noting that the double run
be
is
10
still
feet more here.
a problem, so he'd like to draw one in between the 3 red stones and make sure that the double run is not an option for Saskatchewan. Jillian Babin now.
Yep. Room. Yep. Make sure.
Looks all there to me.
Just don't lose it. Just don't lose it. Yep. You can be right on this line. On this line, you can go. You can go on this line.
Sweep it if it's light.
Goodness,
fine.
they finish
On this
after the
line,
hard
it's
line.
dead nose.
Look at that curl. Ooh,
Great judge, guys.
not
First
quite
shot.
the
Trying to figure
intended
out.
result.
We got a shot.
How good it was? I think it's
But I-
pretty good.
Yeah, right on the nose.
It
Pretty
wasn't,
much right on the nose.
wasn't quite their intended result there. They
I
felt
think
it
they'll
didn't
take
go.
on the double run, though.
Yeah, if you can hit dead nose, it's pretty good.
I'm just intrigued to see what
Which turn
happens
do you
on
like?
these shots. I like to, rocks going all, every which way. There's,
Out.
depending on if you don't get it on the
Like
nose,
that?
there's going to be a little drag effect probably, but right on the nose is the call, and it looks pretty queued up.
Big weight from Sherry coming.
Yep. Whoa! 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 Yep! 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 Whoa! 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 Nice shot.
Wow, what a shot.
And she has it. That's a beautiful finish.
Look at that, sitting 2 in jail.
Kind of right into here, right?
That's
Make the
gotta feel
double.
good.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
I love, goodness, I can't
gotta
remember her
run,
name.
I think.
Their lead's face,
Right on it, like right
watching
here?
it come in, just where they needed it to be. That
Allison
smile.
Ingram, yeah, she was pretty happy with that. So really the only option available is the straight back on the blue guard. You can see that
What do you
Jillian
think?
Babin
Gonna run here, Jamie, you think?
nose looks pretty good on this too.
Will it run?
Oh,
James Grattan's first rock of this 7th end.
curl a bit, curl a bit.
Just misses.
Right here.
And now a big opportunity for Saskatchewan.
Whoop, wait.
I'm just looking around for some wood to touch so I don't jinx that they could be certainly changing the tides here in their favor.
Just off.
try
half
and
an
go
inch more curl, and
try and
that's
tuck a little
pretty
piece
close
of
to
the top
made.
8. Top 12. You like that?
Yeah.
And if we're high, that's fine too. Like if we're short, I mean.
Dean Grindheim makes this shot. It's going to be awfully tough for New Brunswick to avoid giving up 2 or more.
There's not a lot going on there to capitalize on. If you're looking at it from a blue angle, that is.
Easy, easy. Room, room, room. Lots of room.
Don't want to come in too deep. And there's a little bit of an out.
Pretty
There's
close to the
a triple there.
There is.
Kind of the same as what you just did.
Yeah. Hair, just a
Certainly
hair
left
high
an
is better.
opportunity
I
there.
like the same ice because, hair high is better?
Just no, let's call nose and then
Okay.
Just a little heavy on that last shot from Dean
I'm thinking if I
Grindheim.
nose it, this thing might jam it a little bit and don't get to here. But if I hit it a hair, but you got to make sure of the two, right?
Okay, okay.
So
But
Nose
hair,
is pretty-
hair, okay, what do you know?
nose is good if it stays here. How's you get? It's
Nose
going to
or
be tougher
hair?
too.
Okay.
So where did I have there? Right
Like,
there.
yeah, like around there.
Right there, though.
Just through this path. He's tightening up the ice a little too, based on his last throw.
And beak.
Beak is the call, right on the nose, says James Grattan.
Right on the beak. Real close. Hard, hard, hard. Oh,
No!
oh, oh.
And weight like this is the reason curlers
Drive
never
it!
skip leg
Hard,
day.
straight! Hard, 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 hard.
And there it is. 2 go away,
This way.
Need that same one.
and great result for Team New Brunswick. It's still a draw for 2 for Dean Grindheim, but it could have been worse.
It could have been much worse.
Same weight here.
Yeah, that weight's good.
Yeah, just a little more on the high side.
Yeah.
I think that makes the triple, but still a big double. And if Dean Grindheim makes this shot, New Brunswick will have the hammer in the last end, tied up. I think if you ask any team if they'd like to be tied up with coming home, they'll all say yes. Well, no, they'd rather shake hands after 6 with a win.
Someone's a
But
bit of a glutton for punishment.
But a good situation. Dean Grindheim's got to make this.
Gotta go line, gotta go
Late.
line. Gotta go.
But I'm sitting at
Gotta
the
go.
opposite end of the sheet, so
We're by, we're by.
Top 4 is the call and looks really good.
oh, and they have it.
Dean Grindheim's made some huge draws in this game, and that's another one of them.
He truly has. Ignore me on the weight calls. I'm not down there.
And a proud Matt Yo standing behind us as he knows his ice is holding up very, very well. And if you can make draws like that in the late stages of a game, you know you're on a good sheet of ice. So it will be a 4-4 tie, and New Brunswick will have the hammer coming home.
And we'll see if Saskatchewan can carry that decisive attitude through to their final end here.
The other game on the ice in the 8th end, it is BC's Sebastian Robillard in a 4-3 lead over Newfoundland Labrador. And it is BC with Last Rock in that 8th end as well. Reminder, we'll be back on the air at 4 o'clock Mountain Time from the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. Draw 5 action at the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. It'll be Northern Ontario against Manitoba. 2 unbeaten teams, 1-0 records. Pardon me, Northern Ontario now 2-0.
Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go.
Got to get this across the hog line.
Gotta go. Okay.
They dragged
right.
that.
Good scrub by the team there to get that across. As Allison Ingram's wondering. Now we'll see our tick, and this is that tick rule that is being debated at the Grand Slam events. This shot would not have been allowed. And And it won't be allowed at the Winter Universiade either. If it's touching the tee line, it's the no-tick zone. And potentially will be in play at the World Men's and Women's Curling Championships as well, but it'll be assessed at the Winter Universiade next month in Lucerne, Switzerland.
So you meant center line there, correct?
Did I say center?
You said T.
Center T.
T would be in fair game.
Yeah, that's
Get rid
right.
of it.
On the center line, that's correct.
Yeah, hard, really hard. Hard.
Across the face here, maybe, but it's...
And this certainly makes a bigger deal in a competitive arena. A tick shot is a tough thing to master. You won't see it often in a club level of play.
We're a little short on time.
2.
So they get a little shimmy, opens up the center a little bit.
Suddenly it's New Brunswick you might have heard one of them say we're in a little bit of time. They're under 3 minutes, but again, they've got their 2 timeouts as well, but they just got to be conscious of it.
Easy, easy, easy. I think you're here. I think you're here.
Another guard is the call for Allison Ingram.
Easy.
Again, they do not want this in the house.
Pulls back 8, probably.
Good throw.
Perfect.
She was not going to let that first throw happen again.
Yeah, no. But if you're trying to steal, that's pretty good alignment. A high guard and a tight guard.
Close.
Top
6.
4.
6.
Don't worry about line. Just put it here.
Oh, no. It's all there.
Yeah, just can't be deep, that's all.
It's really close.
Wide open's fine. We just need to.
Well, how's that for a...
Take right on it or one more guard?
Right
Right
to
where it
the
counts.
button.
I think a guard.
So decision here, though, for Saskatchewan. Do they get into the house or do they junk it up up front? And it looks like that is the call, is to create a little more traffic out front. Cole Tenichuk.
Yeah, then. Yep. Yep. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Ingram, Sherry Just, trying to
Gotta
bring
go.
this rock.
Yep. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Get 3 guards
Keep
up
going,
front
yep.
of that house, and that helps
good.
the chances of a steal. Now, the peeling game will start. Jamie Brannon.
Half is close.
Double peel might be in play as James Grattan puts the broom down.
Oh. Yep. Hard. Ah. Good
What's
shot.
wrong with that?
Nothing.
Yeah, James,
Good
I'm not
call.
sure why you were complaining. That
Yeah.
seemed a pretty good outcome.
We heard that groan, but I think that's pretty favorable.
Yep. So the double peel was the call, the triple peel was the outcome, and now Saskatchewan is going to need a little help if they're going to get this steal.
We love those teammates keeping you honest. What are you complaining about? We like that.
Right, Sal. Doesn't have to curl. Does not have to curl. Good. That's good.
But again, Saskatchewan's just one nose hit away from being back on the offensive. It's rock in play, and they say the team's obviously one of the sweepers made contact with that stone over there, and they'll just hash it out on the ice, put it back in place.
Yeah, hard, real hard. Oh, clean.
It's hard.
Peel made.
Just keep in mind I don't know how
I never realized.
And somehow we're already
2-3.
on thirds rocks. This end is flying.
Sherry Just will be asked to put the guard back up. Dean Grindheim gets out there, trying to drag this across the hog line. Sherry's going to help out. We're going to have the 4-player sweep. Almost. And it's there.
There's a team shot again.
lots of room.
Seems to be a theme.
I think we got to hit it this way.
Yep.
Clean it. Clean it, yep.
Jillian Babin now with the peel.
Clean, clean. Oh, good throw. That's fine.
So at some point, they'll have to bring a rock into the rings and freeze it.
And we have to decide how many more times
3.
we're going to
Try and go 3.
put that guard back before it's time to make a move.
That's good. That's good.
Good throw, Sherry Just. Tight to the rings. Just trying to change
That was
the...
a great throw. Same
Bill,
thing.
don't jinx me.
Yeah, hard.
No, I threw
Real
it out.
hard.
I threw it out.
Really hard. All the way, Jamie. Watch this one.
Right?
There it is.
Okay, it's
Another
coming
peel.
down to Skips Rocks for the
Yeah.
Saskatchewan will call a timeout.
You go here right now? Yeah.
Like if you have to touch your shot.
Yeah.
You don't have to tap it that much.
We've decided
I
it's
don't think
time
we
to
even
make a
have to
move,
tap
and
it.
it's
I
going to
can
be a
see the
team
button.
decision.
Right?
Like, even if we're not shot and just frozen, like, I'm pretty sure if we're frozen, we're shot. But
Yeah. But
Are you okay with
we
like
have to.
a 3mm
tap. I'm okay. You got.
I'd rather dead.
The old 3mm tap. That's a
No.
pretty precise call.
Well,
So,
you've seen his
what would we
precise
take to draw
draws.
the button?
He's had an outstanding game with draw weight in very crucial situations. So
So we're going for a draw plus an additional 3mm worth of tap.
is it necessary that they get shot rock here, do you think, or just in tight, but on the nose? Because otherwise James just gets to throw something and remove them all.
I don't know that it's necessary that they have shot. I think over the last couple ends, there's almost been a bit of a theme of Dean throwing bait. And that, I think maybe shot might be a little too tempting of bait.
Let go.
He says can't hurt it out of his hand, so
They say it's light.
Keep going. Keep going. That's good. That's good. That's good.
Really good shot.
Excited.
Light out of his hand. So does James peel the guard, or does he freeze to his own?
Same turn, I think.
Yeah,
No, he will take the
I
guard.
was giving
goes for the
you
guard again.
there, Jamie there. I'd be more like Jamie.
Okay.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. We took timeouts on both of ours. Mine. Got lots of time here. I'm just going to let the screeching stop.
And it appears that the yelling was on sheet C, and BC.
So what's he doing the next one? Just freezing out.
Sebastian Robillard makes the big draw looking at a couple. And it will be a Team BC win 5-3 over Newfoundland Labrador. Opening game for Team BC, a good way to start. And we'll see them again tonight. BC will take on New Brunswick, 7:30 Mountain Time.
Shot.
So I think we have a fairly good idea what Dean Gridheim will be calling here.
I think we do.
No, we got lots of time.
No,
Oh,
like you're there.
I think 1 inch more.
1 inch more for that extra 3 millimeters. We're becoming very precise now.
That's right. Last game on the ice here in this fourth draw, pardon me, of the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship here at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. Dean Gridheim in a 4-4 tie, and really only one option available to him on his last shot of this 8th end is a freeze or a tap, a short tap, but he needs to be shot stone after this delivery.
And there is no debate. He does need to be shot this time.
They like the weight.
Room.
And they just need for that dramatic curl to kick in.
Line's good.
Looks good.
It's coming.
Might be a little warm.
Sit down.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Yeah, keep it firm, because even if I nose it, I'm good.
Jamie knows exactly what he needs, though.
So it is a shot for the win for James Grattan.
Same weight.
He's got to hit it on the center line side of this red stone, because the dreaded blank 8th end, extra end is in play if he doesn't. But anything on the center line side of this should be fine.
Peel's all right. Could be fine that they've been throwing them all in. They're all warmed up to the mentality of the peel at this point.
Yep. Can't hurt it. Hard. Hard.
Brannon.
Moving across that center.
Hard. It's good.
And there it is. It will be a single point for New Brunswick, and they will get the 5-4 win, and New Brunswick will improve to 2-0. Saskatchewan will even out at 1-1, and that wraps up Draw 4 action here at the Canmore Golf and Curling Club. For Christina Langs, I'm Al Cameron saying so long, and join us again at 4:30 p.m. or 4 p.m. Mountain Time for more action from the 2021 Canadian Mixed Curling Championship. Bye.